What if all that noise in your head isn't your natural state? I mean, what if it's not even really you? We're about to dive into a kind of silent revolution, one that really makes you question everything you think you know about who you are.
So let me just ask you something right off the bat. Does your mind feel like it's always on? You know, like a switch that's just stuck in the on position and you can't find the off button? If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you are in good company.
For pretty much all of us, this is just normal life. It's this constant, relentless waterfall of thoughts. We're either planning something or worrying about something or replaying conversations from yesterday. It is exhausting. And it's really the start of a story we tell ourselves all day, every day.
You know, a really good way to think about it is that we're all living inside our own personal movie, a nonstop narration of everything that happens to us. And we've just accepted this inner movie as the way things are. We think this always-on machine is just how humans are wired. But what if that's not true? What if our actual true nature is silence? Just think about it. Think about deep, dreamless sleep. When you're in that state, where's the narrator? Where's the I who's stressing about work or planning the weekend? It's just gone. And that proves that this profound silence isn't just possible, it's a critical part of who we are. It shows we can and do exist without all that mental chatter.
And here is our inner narrator in action. Look at this. The exact same event, you could call it the raw footage of life, can be turned into a total tragedy or an exciting adventure. It completely depends on the story we spin. Our experience isn't raw reality. It's a heavily narrated film.
Okay, so if we're living in a movie that we're basically directing ourselves, how do we find the exit? Well, the key, the real secret, is in this idea of non-attachment.
Now, the path to this freedom is summed up in a pretty shocking metaphor: living as if you were dead. Okay, hang on. This doesn't mean being a zombie. It's about being radically, completely free from the constant, needy demands of our ego.
So what does that actually look like in real life?
Well, it's living without a desperate agenda you have to push. It's a life where your sense of self isn't tied to every win and every loss. It means you're finally free from that deep need to impress other people and free from all the fear that comes along with it. And the result of that? Just imagine that kind of peace for a second. An emotional core that isn't constantly being thrown around by what happens on the outside. That is the kind of freedom we're talking about here. All right, so let's go with this. If we accept that the world we experience day to day is basically a subjective movie, then this next part is the most important piece of the entire puzzle. You are not the character in that movie. This is the absolute game changer. So what on earth does it mean to stop identifying as the character and to finally realize who you really are? Think about it like this. The character is completely trapped in the drama, right? Their identity is built on every single win and every single loss. But you are the screen. The silent, unchanging, pure awareness that the entire movie plays out on. The screen is never actually burned by a fire in the film, and it's never made sad by a tragic scene. It is totally 100% free. So what is this screen, this empty awareness? Well, it is not some passive, empty void. It's actually the source of some incredible power. But you might be thinking, doesn't an empty mind sound kind of boring? Like a dull, passive way to live? And that's a totally fair question. The answer, though, is a huge no.
See, this kind of emptiness isn't an absence of something. It's the powerful presence of pure awareness itself. And it's dynamic, it's vibrant, and it's unbelievably powerful. This awareness isn't just a blank slate. It has these amazing qualities. The first is called Ananda, which is this incredible, uncaused joy. It's a happiness that doesn't need a reason to show up. It's just the natural state of your being. Kind of like how the sun is just naturally warm. And flowing right out of that joy comes something called spanda, or spontaneous right action. When that chattering mind finally gets quiet, this incredible intelligence just flows through you. You don't have to agonize over what to do, you just do it, and it's perfect. And then there's sat, or unbounded oneness. That feeling of being a small, separate, isolated self, it just melts away. Instead, you feel this deep, profound connection to absolutely everything. It's a feeling of limitless expansion.
And finally, we have chit, or luminous awareness. This is the opposite of the dullness of sleep. It's a bright, clear, totally wide-awake presence. It's the light of consciousness itself, just shining through without all the clutter of thoughts getting in the way.
So, when you boil it all down, it's really a choice between two ways of living. We can stay in the state of mental chatter, which is all about effort and fear and feeling separate, or we can choose to rest in this empty state of freedom, which is defined by ease and trust and a deep sense of unity.
So I'll just leave you with this one thought. What would change in your life, like right now, today, if you stopped identifying with the stressed-out character in your movie and realized you've always been the silent, peaceful, and unbreakable screen on which it all appears?